Well, what's going on, guys? Welcome back to Let It Grow Investing. I'm Jeff. We're going to talk stocks. We're going to talk investments, everything you need to know about the government, the shutdown, and where we go from here in this madness that we call the stock market. It has been crazy out there. I know it. This is a rough week. You know, the markets are trying to gain a little bit of traction, a little bit of knowledge as to what's going on, what we're going to do, and how we're going to get there. So thank you guys for stopping by. I am going to be pulling up the CME Fed Watch tool. We're going to take a look at what the markets are saying about rate cuts in December. We are going to be looking at what stocks we want to be buying right now. Is this tech sell-off a real problem, or is it a short-term blip on the radar screen of what's going on in the world? So, first up, let's go ahead and pull up the CME Fed Watch tool. I did just bring this up. This is going to be a tricky decision for what's going on in the market. We've got Fed Watch CME right here. We've got currently looking at 375 to 400. And now we are looking at, this should be the December meeting. Yep, December 10th. Happy birthday to my dad on that day. A couple people saying we're going to stay put. And then we got some people saying, hey, we're going to drop about 25 basis points, about 44% of economists saying, hey, we're cutting another 25 basis points. And that would definitely be beneficial to some parts of the economy, some parts of the market. The government shutdown has really done a number. We really don't have all the information. We might not ever get the reports that we needed to make some educated decisions as to what was going on in pretty much all of October, right? So we're trying to play catch up. The market is selling off. Michael Burry did a bunch of shorts, right? We know about this. NVDA, Palantir, that is a lot of his position. He closed his hedge fund, went private. The market is just trying to digest everything that is going on out there, guys. So this is just a lot of noise. It is just insane, the amount of noise that we have. So yes, I kind of came out and said, hey, we'll get a little bit of clarity once the market digests what's going on with the government, right? We get the shutdown solved. We'll have a little bit more solid ground. We have a little bit more solid ground, but there's still a lot of unknowns, right? We're still waiting on the next part of the government moving forward, right? Are we going to get the CR signed? And now are we going to figure it out by January? I, for one, say, hey, if you are the one holding up everyone's jobs, everyone's paychecks, you should not be getting a paycheck either. That goes for both sides. I don't care what side you're on. There's far too many people that are just, kind of puppets in the whole matter of, are we going to work this week? Are we going back to the office? Am I going to get a paycheck? Can my family eat? Every different thing there. These people need to be held accountable for basically what they're doing to the U.S. economy, to the citizens that are reliant on these payments, right? Whether you work for them or you need the different assistance that the government provides, right? So there's a lot of different things at stake. And I, for one, believe that they should not be getting paid until they sign their, next policy and get their job done, right? Come to an agreement, find a middle ground, stop making it so political, and move forward. That being said, it's not that easy. And we can't always just work together. It'd be really cool if we could, but it doesn't seem like it's that simple. So we are looking at the S&P 500. We are looking at it selling down, right? We were at, call it 68.50. This is on the 11th at 11. We got all the way down to around 64, 66.80. We came back up to end the week at 67.34. So we are down on the week. Definitely a roller coaster ride through here, right? Some of these, I think even Friday, man, we started down like 1.5%, 2%. And somehow we finished the day in some positive territory. I'm not too sure how that happened, but a lot of people were saying, hey, it's buy time, right? We don't think that this is going to be long term. We don't think that Michael Burry's right. We think that the government's going to get moving. We think that they're going to spend money. We don't think that this is going to be a long-term problem. And I do have a bit of a headline here from Yahoo Finance saying the same exact thing, right? So we're going to pull this up. This is saying, hold your ground. Wall Street strategists say that the tech sell-off is a short-term blip as earnings bull case remains intact, right? So these companies are still making money. we are still seeing ServiceNow, NVIDIA, they're still making money. We don't see that the spending on AI is stopping. So why would you want to be selling out of NVIDIA long term when they are still where they need to be? The revenues still look great. Unless everyone stops spending money, they are doing perfectly fine. And the revenues for the next 2 years look fantastic. So it's not a time to sell. Some people are doing that. Some people are taking profits. You got hedge fund managers at the end of the year kind of taking some profits, right? But they have to show their customers, their clients that, yes, we are still in these great positions. So maybe they sell off, right? Maybe they sell off, say, NVIDIA at 195 and they buy it back at 175. We took some profits, we rebalanced, and now we're back in these positions that you want to be in, right? End of the year, they cannot go to their clients and say, yeah, we're 40, 50% cash, because if that's the case, well, why is my money with you? I can just have my money in cash and just buy the S&P. So why am I paying you money to hold cash instead of being invested in the market? So I think that is a lot of the situation right now. We had a lot of uncertainty. People start selling off. People are selling out of Bitcoin. We saw Bitcoin go from 126,000 down to around 96,000 right now. So we are looking at actually lower than that. Sorry, hate to tell you, if you're a long-term Bitcoin bull, if you've been there long, 93,000 is pretty awesome. Saying that 10 years ago was probably 12. I digress, right? We're at 93.9. We are down on the day. Is it a time to buy some Bitcoin? I think that we're getting close. I would shoot to say if you are a long-term Bitcoin fan, I think this is probably as good of a dip as any to start buying. That's my 2 cents. Do what you want with it. But yeah, we are at a 6-month low. We are probably 80,000. Yeah, this is when I was really saying to get in. Was mid 80s to sub 80s was probably the last time I was saying this is a great time to buy. And if it gets back into the 80s right now, I still think that is a solid position to start entering, a Bitcoin trade. Why? Well, one, you got people rotating out of Bitcoin to get heavier into gold, right? We've seen the price in gold spike. People want to get out of the volatile play of Bitcoin. If the market's going to go sideways, we don't want to be there, right? We've seen the Bitcoin crashes before, and people are going to the conservative, tried and true gold play, right? If the market's going to go bad, stock market that is, sell out of that, buy some dividend plays, buy some gold, and get out of tech, right? That is the tried and true playbook that, a lot of money managers have done for years. So I think that is repeating itself here. We are seeing a lot of that writing on the wall here. And then I had another article that I was looking at on Yahoo Finance as well, and saying, but I believe that their high price point on Bitcoin called for about a 30% rally due to the fact of catching back up to gold with where they have been kind of trading at in recent years past. So JP Morgan essentially saying, time to buy some Bitcoin. The bottom is probably in. Time to get into that trade. I tend to agree. Obviously dollar cost average, it could definitely go lower. I'm betting that it does. But I think long term, again, do we want to sell out of NVIDIA because it's going down 5-10%? I don't think that we do. I think, what you might want to do is add more to that position. If you're normally adding, say, $200 a week, as we do in the investing club challenge, I would say, hey, raise that by 50%. Maybe go up to $300 a week, as it is below 10% of trading at that high, or even 15 or 20% trading off of that high. You want to add, an extra 50% to that investment, because you're getting a good value. Again, long term, it's a winner. Short term, I can't tell you. It's a coin flip. It's very hard to know the exact price movement of what anything in the market is going to do with any blip of news that comes across. So long term, I think you're safe. Short term, there's going to be some volatility. So that is what I'm looking at there. And what am I, doing with all this noise, or where am I putting some money? Um, I did a couple different trades this week. I did some covered calls on Chevron, trying to make a little bit of cash. I have some other covered calls we talked about before, NVIDIA, Palantir, AMD. Eli Lilly is just crushing it. That one, I told you guys I trimmed out about 10 grand roughly out of Eli Lilly. And I'm going to share this one for you. This one has been a rock star for us when it comes to things that we've bought this year. I would like to do a 3-month chart that probably shows this a little bit better, but I'll just pull it up in this window. So we're at 625 in August, right? I said probably around this 7 to 650-ish range is like pull the trigger, just go for it. Start buying some Eli Lilly. That's what I was doing. You got to do your own due diligence. I am not your financial advisor. This is for, kind of clearing my mind of all the things that are on my mind looking at the market. Hopefully you guys can make some heads or tails of it, give you maybe some ideas as things to do as other healthcare stocks sold off. We were looking at UNH. That hasn't bounced back as hard. So not everything is an immediate win, but this one was, right? So at 625, if you bought at the low, that is pretty much where we were calling it. And now we are looking at a price of 1,025, right? Absolutely fantastic movement for Eli Lilly, guys. This one, I don't know that it could have gone any better as far as time to enter a trade. I think we nailed this thing. Awesome. So if you're here for Eli Lilly, great. If you were here for AMD when I was saying, hey, at 80, buy this thing, probably back in, where are we here? This is on AMD, probably back in April, kind of Judgment Day time. That was a steal, right? We're looking at, 90 there. I know we hit 76 in April. This thing has really done well for us. NVIDIA too. I mean, NVIDIA is not up as much this year, but over the past 3 years, just monumental, the amount of money that we've made on this. So if you're looking back to September of 22 being at $13 and now we're at 190, I would have loved to have bought every last share of NVIDIA that I could have. Other things that haven't worked so well for us, Salesforce. This one hasn't really made that bump yet. If I look year to date, we're probably, I think I was saying to buy this thing in the 240s, 250s range. I started buying. I think I told you I was doing like 1.5% to 2% of my portfolio in Salesforce, probably somewhere around July, August. I know I've been buying, right? This has been sideways. It hasn't done what we want to yet. It still has a ton of upside, according to a lot of analysts. I know that a lot of people want to get in this thing, but it hasn't really done anything yet. I'm still holding. That's my pattern here. I'm holding. I bought a little bit, but I'm not really looking to make it too much more than that 2% that I was targeting. Adobe, similar, right? I really think that this software stock can't get out of its own way. We're fighting a lot of other AI problems, right? AI replace a lot of Adobe's business, right? So that is a big question. This thing is really cheap at 331. We've got about 40% of upside. When we're looking at the price to earnings, sitting at a 20 on a trailing 12, that's pretty cheap for a tech company of this size and stature. I still think it's a great company. I don't know what AI means for this, and I think that's a lot of the fear and why this hasn't gone up. United Health, man, we need to see something work here as well. After this big old drop, we started buying this thing. We've added on the way down. You want to hope that it starts turning around, right? I know the CEO problems and a lot of healthcare problems. Trump saying we're going to try to cap out some of these drug prices or what insurance companies can bill for different things. It's doing a lot to hurt the stock. Is there a lot of upside? Yeah, around 23%. Is it the best play in the market? I don't think that it is. I really don't. I think if I had to do this one again, maybe I wouldn't have gone so heavy into United Health. I was already in it. But like I'm looking at an Amazon, right? You have 26% of upside in Amazon. So what would you rather buy? United Health or Amazon, with Amazon potentially having more upside. I probably want more Amazon right now. I think long term, that is going to be the much better gainer. And that's probably something I need to look at right now is, do I want to keep this money in healthcare? Do I want to take some out and put it elsewhere? I wasn't trying to rhyme, it just happened. So that's my thought, right? Where do we really want to position ourselves? I think defense makes a lot of sense. I do like healthcare, but United Health is just kind of stuck, right? They are against the government. They had a bunch of problems with the CEO being murdered. I mean, everything that has gone against them is a big hill to climb out of. And then if they do, or when they do, are they going to have the growth that some of these other companies are going to have? I don't think that they will have the growth that an Amazon might have, or some of these other tech names, right? So to wrap up all this money, sit it in United Health for a turnaround, hoping that it's going to happen, is tough. So I'm saying this, we bought a bunch of different stocks this year. I was leaning heavily into some healthcare names. I was leaning heavily into some AI and tech names. Some of them have worked extremely well, right? It's been a great year for a lot of these stocks, but not for all of them, and not in the same kind of timeline. And now going forward, what do we think is going to happen, right? And I think in this battle between Amazon and United Health, I'd have to give the nod to Amazon right now. That being said, we're looking at stocks for this week. I know that last week we bought Meta, added to the Investing Club Challenge for the week, and bought ticker META for $200 worth. We've got other names to look at, though. We got NVIDIA, Tesla, and these are just stocks that I've started looking at the beginning of the year. What names do we want to buy for the year? So NVIDIA, Tesla, Meta, Amazon, Eli Lilly, NextEra, CrowdStrike, Costco, Bank of America, AMD, and IBIT, which is a Bitcoin ETF. IBIT does entice me at this point for the same reasons I already talked about earlier when it comes to Bitcoin, right? We do have Bitcoin pulling back. We are, roughly 20% off these highs from October. Being at, call it $72. Now we're sitting at around $54, a little bit north of 20%. And that is one of them times where you want to start buying a little bit heavier. So I do like Bitcoin here a lot. I do still feel very strongly about Amazon. I really like the play in Meta. NVIDIA is already a very full position. Bank of America doesn't really get me too excited. We're not too sure what rates are going to do. We're not too sure what the Fed's going to do. AMD, I think we've already tapped out on some of that money. I still think it's a buy, but I don't want to go and buy any more right now. I already loaded this boat up when it was 120 and lower. So I'm not really looking to just keep on adding there. So if I had to pick a best stock of the week to buy right now, Lilly's pretty capped out too. I'm not looking there. NextEra makes sense. We've talked about the utilities and the safety that they provide quite a few times. 11% of upside doesn't really get you too excited, but it is safe. And safety is not a terrible thing to have in a market that is this choppy. Meta's got to have great upside right now. 39%. Man, do we go back-to-back weeks in Meta? That's tough. So if I'm looking CrowdStrike, I'm going to probably say that's probably a no. Yeah, there's nothing there that's getting me too excited. Costco, I do like that going into the holiday season. 18% of upside on Costco is not hateful. I know we looked at this before and some of the numbers weren't fantastic. Let's run through some of the numbers while we're here. Let's take a look at Refinitiv. We're going to share this one. We are looking at a forward PE of a 46, which seems very pricey. Dividend, nothing really to write home about. You will get some special dividends when it comes to Costco stock. We've got 15% of price target appreciation there. Nice earnings per share growth. Chart going higher right here. We are seeing those numbers up and to the right. That's what we want to see. Annual revenue doing similar at a predictable 8% roughly growth over the next 2 years on revenue. Dividend growth 12%. So they are raising this dividend double digits, but it is still below a 1% dividend yield. So it is low when it's compared to the S&P 500. 12% premium on forward PE. Kind of figure that. I'm guessing the PEG ratio is high. Yeah, it's a 5.2. So that doesn't really get me excited, right? I don't necessarily want to chase something that is already trading outside of a buy range where I'm not getting great value. Is it a great stock? Yes. Is it the best value that we can get? No, I'm going to say it's not. For that reason, I'm going to say Costco's out. Great stock, great company, but not really the position that I want to be adding at this point in time with the valuation that it has. AMD, I'm going to take a look just because we're here. Let's see what Advanced Micro has to do for us. Typed it wrong. Dang it. All right, sorry. AMD, we are at 246. We're looking at a stock that's trading at 129 times PE multiple. We got a 14% of upside. Yeah, I still really have to give that nod to Meta. That just seems like the no-brainer of the week is buying Meta stock. So we're going to go back to back on this one, guys. I don't really normally do that, but 39% of upside on Meta just seems like a no-brainer. Tesla, I really do like Tesla. I'm sure this has no upside whatsoever. I do think that this thing can still double in the next 2 years. I really do. So we're at 404. I think we can go significantly higher from here. I'm going to shoot to say that these analysts are going to disagree with me, and that is completely fine. So we got the negative downside. Adding this for myself, I did buy this week. I bought SMR this week, and I bought Amazon this week. But I will be adding Meta. That is going to be the play. And I think as this thing is down, this is going to be another turnaround story like an Eli Lilly, like an AMD, right? So that's where I want to be. That's where I want to be putting the money in. And I'll probably add some Bitcoin for myself. I know I have in some of my portfolios, so I'll probably still be adding there. But I know I got a ton of money that I've got to spend here. We're getting a new roof. I got to buy some new equipment. I got other things I got to spend money on. So I'm going to be a little cash strapped as I rotate from like landscaping season into snow season. Snow's not falling yet, so bills aren't going out and money's not coming in. So I got to be a little bit frugal. It's just the nature of my business. But that's what I got for you guys this week. So we talked about Bitcoin. We talked about why that could be a buy, why gold is spiking, why the market is being a little bit shaky, and why I think that it could be a short-term blip on the radar of what's going on out there with everything in the market, kind of being up in the air right now. We're not sure about the Fed. We're not sure about the government actually coming to terms and meeting the next vote in January. We're not too sure. So there is a lot of unknowns. I'm buying Meta. I'll probably add some others, right? I'm sure I'll buy some more Tesla. I'm sure I'll buy some more Bitcoin. I'm looking at all the things that are out there. So thank you guys very much for stopping by. Please make sure you like, subscribe, and share. It does really help the podcast grow. And any questions, feel free to shoot them over to me in Facebook, whether it be on the Let It Grow Investing page. You can let them, the questions fly on Spotify as well. We've got them there. So whatever you've got on top of your mind, let me know. We'll try to solve it in the next one. So thank you guys very much for stopping by, and take care.